The following video contains spoilers. We suggest watching the episodes alone in the dark. Hello, Wolfpack! We're back! And today, we re-enter the Nightmare Room. Yep, we're taking a look back at another one of R.L. Stine's epic, underrated horror shows to celebrate this great month of terror. The Nightmare Room was sadly one of the most short-lived horror shows on R.L. Stine's success list, but nonetheless, it managed to produce a Halloween special just in time to scar all the kids for life. And if there's any holiday that R.L. Stine just owns, it's Halloween. I didn't mention this in the last Nightmare Room review, so I'll bring it up now. The introduction to the show has R.L. Stine narrating exactly what type of show this series was going to be, but it was not actually R.L. Stine himself giving us the opening. Instead, it was actually James Avery, pretending to be the author for us. That's right, Uncle Phil from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is playing R.L. Stine in this show, acting more like a Rod Serling-esque narrator, detailing every story for the audience. I know what you're all thinking. Really? Uncle Phil is playing R.L. Stine? That's got to be the weirdest person ever to play R.L. Stine. Okay, well, in all fairness, James Avery does do a fantastic job on the series. It really makes me wish that the Nightmare Room lasted much longer than 13 episodes, because it was pretty great.
But Cat, Uncle Phil isn't scary.
Oh, really?
I'm not going to punish you, Will. You know, that's radical, Uncle Phil, but it just might work. I'm not going to punish you today. Maybe not even tomorrow. You see, I need to think a long, long time about just what I'm going to do with you. I don't know, it might come to me in the middle of the night. Or maybe next week, or a few years from now. In the meantime, why don't you worry about it? Be afraid, Will. Be very afraid.
Yeah, Mr. Avery can be quite the psychopath when he really wants to be, and he was so delightful at it. But let's get into the real topic of focus, the Nightmare Room's first and only Halloween special. Granted, all the episodes could easily qualify as a Halloween story, but this one actually takes place on the holiday, so we're counting it for this month's horror theme. Plus, Full Moon Halloween was seriously one of the many official Nightmare Room novels that managed to get adapted into a live-action story. In fact, most of the Nightmare Room episodes were books turned into live episodes for newer viewers to love, just like the Goosebumps tales. So there's plenty to talk about on this show. We've got a lot in our candy bag, so let's stop wasting time and begin. Was this story truly a worthy tale of suspense to give the Nightmare Room justice? Or is it an expired sour candy drop? Let's find out. This is my review on the Nightmare Room's Halloween special, Full Moon Halloween. So our episode opens up at a creepy haunted house, where a first-person shooter is purchasing a mysterious package delivered by this ominous poacher guy, wearing an eye patch and a hook hand, so clearly they're the good guys. After signing off on the special package, the poacher informs the cameraman that this box contains very dangerous animals that must be controlled at all times, and he soon leaves. Ah, good to see that he's at least an ethical black market dealer. Otherwise, his customers couldn't get a refund on all the illegal products. But we get hints that the animals within the box are totally evil, as the crate rattles and shakes, to reveal how rabid they are. We then cut to an ordinary high school, where we meet our main characters. Freddy the trickster, Dex the radical street kid, Todd the dumb jock, Janet the smart girl, and Alexis the shy girl. These colorful characters are pretty much the exact same cast from the episode School Spirit. And I do mean the exact same cast. All the actors are pretty much portraying similar characters to their roles on School Spirit. Some fans even theorize that this episode is actually a sequel. We even highlight Madeline Zima as a major character who plays an important role that'll surprise us. Yep, Madeline Zima from The Nanny is in this, as our adorable shy girl character. What a stretch for her. The kids complain about how much this year's Halloween sucks because the town is banning the holiday after a series of mysterious child murders have spread around their area, where the students theorize that there's a werewolf on the loose, mauling children. Yeah, just like on R.L. Stine's Pumpkinhead story. All three of them. There's a dark mystery about hundreds of grisly child deaths being brought about by some hidden villain, which we all know will never be encountered by the heroes. Like I said, the group heard rumors of the murderer being a werewolf, but they think it's just a myth. However, before we can learn more, a jump scare happens.
Think it's a werewolf? Yeah, right.
No, I heard that too. Does the attacks only happen when the moon is full? And the police are covering it up so that nobody panics. Look out!
Runaway cleaning cart! The kids try to see who pushed the cart, but find nobody there. Huh, I wonder what happened to that creepy janitor.
Look at me! I'm an American boy! Uh-oh! Scared away! No, I'm not! Oh, it's a... Okay, I'm all right. No. I spoke too soon! Hey, that's better.
They soon discover some admittedly pretty cool Halloween invitations, asking them to join a mysterious benefactor for a Halloween party, which takes place at that creepy mansion from earlier. So naturally, they all agree to attend it with 0 questions asked. Later that night, we see all our kid heroes arriving one at a time at the haunted mansion to check out this awesome Halloween party, where I have to say that the setting honestly looks pretty creepy. Yeah, it's clearly a cheesy, over-the-top haunted house filled with literally every Halloween decoration from Party City, but it looks pretty fun and creative. There's animatronics, puppets, cheesy props, and litters of masks scattered all over the place, giving it a pretty unique personality. Though we do get a pretty bizarre montage of scary face close-ups with almost every mask in the room, which feels a bit too silly and unnecessary. I know it's all just trailer fodder, but do we really need all of the masks to give us scary face shots? Freddy comes in to chat with Janet and Todd about how weird this party is, finally asking some questions about all this. But not before getting into a petty argument with Todd on wearing the same costume, of course.
So what is this? You decided to dress up like me? Well, it's the goofiest thing I could think of.
Oh, Todd just got burned. As all the characters slowly arrive to the party, they spot that weird metal crate from earlier and wonder what's in the box. But Freddy acts slightly suspicious before departing for the bathroom. Soon all 5 of our main characters make it to the party and admire the haunted house before Dex gets jump scared. But it only turns out to be Freddy, who reveals that this is his haunted house, and he was the stranger who invited them all here. Yeah, how he managed to rig that spooky janitor cart to crash while sitting alongside his friends to play innocent is beyond me, but I guess Freddy is somehow a brilliant chess master. Also, Freddy confirms that he was the one who purchased that animal box from the opening, stating that he has special plans for all of them. And naturally, he ominously informs them that he wanted them, and only them, to be at the party for a special game of his.
Hey, Freddy. Where's everyone else? There is nobody else. So you're saying it's just us?
Well, I sure hope this won't end in a killing spree. The other kids are creeped out by this at first, but decide to give the party a whirl when he offers them snacks. Unfortunately, they find out that Freddy has a hidden pile of raw meat for some reason, and then they decide to go home. But Freddy tells them that they can't leave yet, as he reveals his true motivation.
Yo, what's the deal? I'll tell you what the deal is. One of you knows firsthand about those animal attacks. One of you is the werewolf. And we're not leaving this house until it's destroyed.
Be very afraid.
As you'd expect, all the kids think Freddy's just crazy, and they decide to leave, but their friend goes all jigsaw on them and keeps them locked inside of his home with his foolproof electrical security system, forcing them to do as he demands. Freddy reveals that he wants to expose which one of his friends is the werewolf massacring all the children around town, because one of the kids that died was his little brother, and he seeks vengeance for his death. He's somehow examined every kid in their high school off-screen, and he's narrowed down the suspects to the 4 of them, where he plans to kill the beast with his secret weapon. Yeah, for those of you who read the book, this is not how the plot plays out at all. In the novel, the kids were tricked into coming to the Halloween party by a creepy teacher who wanted to capture the werewolf, and the teacher assumed that it was one of their students. I don't know why this setup was changed, but my best guess is that the show's staff probably realized how creepy it would be for an adult teacher to just abduct kids and hold them all hostage in their house for an unethical experiment, since that would have probably been too unsettling to show the younglings. I think changing the mastermind from an adult teacher to a kid around the same age as the main characters was done for practical reasons, and to get past the censors. Though I'm still slightly sad, since a teacher holding the kids hostage would have been much scarier than the trickster kid Freddy, so it still kind of sucks that they had to alter the story. However, keeping a group of kids who don't know any better captive does sound equally terrifying too, since there's no adults around to protect them either. Not a bad change, but only sad for hardcore fans of the book version. Anyways, Freddy reveals that he bought some supernatural mythical animals who act as the natural enemy to the werewolf species, so they can detect which kid is secretly the monster. These small demons are called plogs.
Can you believe all the horrible, thoughtless things you said to Ladybug?
No, not that plog. These creatures are something far more worse. Micro Timmies. Yeah, no joke, these beasts are pretty much the bad egg monster from The Haunting Hour, but under a different title. The plogs are small animals who can sniff out the werewolf species, but are also unstable, savage killers. So of course, Freddy unleashes them on the house. Wow, dig those special effects, people. These have really not aged all that well. I mean, come on, you couldn't have just used some puppets or furballs on strings? You really thought these Tron balls looked good, huh? I mean, what kind of cheap show uses such astoundingly cheesy effects? What the... If you can believe it or not, Freddy somehow managed to obtain a single tribble, and he uses it to test who in the group is really a werewolf. He gives them his backstory on how much his little brother meant to him, so the group reluctantly gives in to help him out, and they pass around the plug, where it does mostly nothing, before it bites Alexis, causing the group to believe that she's the werewolf! Only for them to instantly forget about this plot point when they actually read the instructions for the plogs to see if that's really how they react to werewolves. Yeah, they just kind of ignore the possibility of this girl being a werewolf because nobody knows how the plogs operate, including Freddy. Remember this. After actually reading the box's notes, the kids discover that the plogs are becoming violent, because once they're exposed to light, they start evolving into gigantic feral killer monsters, who will soon devour all human beings. Oh, so that explains why it attacked Alexis, right? The kids believe that the plogs are already changing into feral beasts and put aside the werewolf hunt once it becomes clear that the micro-Timmies are the true great threat to them, so they run away, where after some hilarious Halloween hijinks, Freddy accesses his old computer in the attic to unlock his security system. Because if it worked for Courage the Cowardly Dog, it'll work for R.L. Stine. But hey, at least Freddy's old technology doesn't constantly roast him.
You're such a lousy typist. Oh yeah, thanks a lot. You're welcome.
Unfortunately, the psychoporgs destroy the computer and sever the wires, meaning that our heroes are trapped. So with no way out of the house, the heroes believe that they can survive this whole nightmare if they capture all the micro-Timmies before they fully evolve into their ferocious final forms. So what's the solution to resolve this little problem? That's right! This entire scenario is R.L. Stine's alternate version of Pokemon. No joke, no exaggeration, this is the darker and edgier version of Pokemon, as done by horror writer R.L. Stine. I mean, it's only a group of cool teenage outcasts hunting down every pocket monster on the loose in the area before they can fully evolve into something more powerful. No show like that was ever on during the same time when the Nightmare Room was popular. This is clearly R.L. Stine doing a scary version of Pokemon. Well, glad to see that he and his staff are taking notes from the best.
Hey, I know. I'll use my trusty frying pan as a drying pan.
Truly a show that cannot compete with Stine's genius. And if you thought I was exaggerating on this being similar to Pokemon, we pretty much follow the game formula, because half of this episode is the kids getting into hilarious shenanigans while hunting down the pocket monsters. Yeah, we briefly take a break from the serious story for the silly monster hunt side quest. It's kind of humorous and fairly entertaining, but there's not much I can comment on it. Though we do get another big reveal from Freddy after they remember, you know, the werewolf problem.
I was just thinking, even after we get all the plogs, one of us is still a werewolf. Actually, I sort of made some of that up. How much of it up? Well, you know, just all of it.
So there is no werewolf.
Maybe there is, but I just said it was one of you.
What for, you little weirdo?
What a bitch.
guy since the 4th grade. And when you're not ignoring me, you're making fun of me. So I just figured that if I do this amazing party, maybe you talk to me every once in a while.
Aw, ain't that real freaking cute. All Freddy really wanted this whole time was friends. He did all of this to finally gain respect from his buddies, and only wanted some Halloween fun with them. That totally justifies how he doomed them all by trapping them inside his house with killer tribbles, and possibly endangered all of mankind once they escape. Geez, kid, if you just wanted friends, try talking to them. Oh, by the way, is anyone really buying this cheap misdirection about how there is no werewolf? Because I'm sure not. Come on, this is R.L. Stine we're talking about, folks. So, after that sad scene to give Freddy nice character growth, we naturally follow it up with more Pokemon hunting. But oh no, Freddy accidentally gets his arm stuck in a hole in the wall, right when one of the Plogs is coming after him. Oh man, I know where this is going. Alright, they save his life, and capture the last tribble right on time. The team herds the last few Plogs into the box, but some of them begin evolving. Yet our heroes use teamwork to force them all back into the metal crate where they belong. Which kind of raises the question, why or how none of the other Plogs jumped out of the box, while the kids wrangled a few of them in one at a time. But hey, the credits are drawing near, so who cares? Hooray! All the Micro Timmies are trapped back in their grim box, and the kids will send them away to be examined by top men.
Who?
Top men. They all celebrate this victory, but everyone is still pissed at Freddy, who tries weaseling out of this with his kindness.
Oh, hey, come on, guys. It wasn't so bad. Look, you gotta admit, it wasn't a boring evening, was it?
Are you all buying my fake screaming? The kids help him up and easily forgive him because now he knows what it's like to be scared. So they're all cool now, agreeing that this was a sweet Halloween party. They all almost died. Freddy unlocks the door easily thanks to the electric grid for the security system being down, and everyone is free to go, alive and well, living happily ever after. But wait a minute, where's Alexis? Freddy tells them that he'll find her and goes off alone upstairs. And of course, he's a black guy in a horror story on a show famous for its dark twist endings. You know what that means.
Alexis! Oh, there you are. Guess you missed your curfew, huh?
Halloween isn't just kids in costumes collecting candy. Sometimes things more sinister lurk under the moon. Freddy Gold learned that when he cried wolf in Nightmare Room.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the true origin story behind FemWolf. Who'da thunk it? This is seriously how the tale ends, people. After all the trickery he did to try and gain friendship, Alexis the shy girl turns out to be a real werewolf, and she mauls the guy to death. Boy, Freddy's parents are in for quite a shock when they see that bloody mess upstairs. Good job, R.L. Stine. You had this goofy, wacky Pokemon-style episode about catching micro-Timmies, ending in brutal child death. I love it. But that was the end to the Halloween special, Full Moon Halloween. How does it hold up? Well, to be honest, I think it was pretty good. This might not be the best of the Nightmare Room episodes, but it is pretty entertaining and delightfully grim. The episode honestly feels like some nice, sweet Halloween fun, which successfully lures us into a good sense of lightheartedness before pulling the rug from under us by ending on a dark death note. I admire how great it was at misleading us and shifting the mood so fast. Great job, Nightmare Room staff. Was there anything I hated in this episode? Well, there was one major thing. And if you can believe it or not, it actually wasn't the lame CGI effects or that annoying black guy always dies cliche. It was the twist ending. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy the brutal child death capping off a misleading wacky episode, but I kind of saw it coming from a mile away. The minute Alexis gets bit by the Plog and conveniently goes missing during the final act just gives away that something is up with her. Not to mention the very heavy foreshadowing all throughout the episode whenever the werewolf topic is brought up. I'll give credit that the Nightmare Room tries to mislead the viewer by having Freddy admit that it was all a lie, but the problem is that the kids were discussing the series of brutal child deaths long before he made up his BS story, and the rumors of a werewolf being dropped in an R.L. Stine story always proved to be true later. Always. Sorry, Nightmare Room, but this is a case where the foreshadowing was so heavy that it dropped the conclusion on us early. I mean, come on, even the children under 7 could spot this twist coming. Though I will applaud the crying wolf lesson they had at the end, with Freddy's trickery unintentionally backfiring on him when his lie was not too far off from the truth in reality. Very clever, Nightmare Room. Also, if you liked the book version, then you might be a bit disappointed with how the episode plays things out. So it's not much of a faithful adaptation when compared to Stine's other novels. Nevertheless, I think it's truly a tasty Halloween treat you can enjoy based on its own merits. The cast is pretty likable, the setting is amusing, the spirit of Halloween is ever so present, it does do some pretty funny jabs at pocket monsters, and best of all, it has a great misdirection that makes us think that this will be a dumb comedy story before ending on a disturbing twist. It helps that unlike some of the lesser episodes that tried this twist, Full Moon Halloween does make sure that there is a tension in the air. In my opinion, this is simply a fun Halloween adventure. So, I'm giving this episode a gold skull. Sadly, not a perfect score on account of the predictable twist, lame effects, and black guy always dies trope. But it's pretty fun, quirky, enjoyable, and manages to be both a bit goofy and very grim. Full Moon Halloween might be the Nightmare Room's only Halloween special, but it definitely rises as a nightmarish light in the darkness of Halloween night. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, or just tune in for more videos posted here on Wolf Entertainment. I'm your host, Catastrophe, and I hope to find some more great Halloween treats. Oh no!